This is one approach which you can take. Also, let's say you have an application which has got 3 or 4 columns, each of 200 pixels. So basically how much size is this application going to take at one time? Screen size is 600 pixels, right? And you don't want to give a user an experience which is less than 600 pixels, because you feel that the whole of these 3 columns are required for a proper display of the content and proper user experience. So what you can do is you can define it as e.size.width property that I told you before, which is fix it as less than 6% or greater than 6%. The point here is, while I say that the 500 pixel is what you should implement with full functionality, and you think that 600 pixel is what is required for you to give the full functionality, you can go ahead and implement that. So whatever the sizes are there, how it maps to your content, how is it that you're going to implement or take advantage of those sizes for your application is called that you have to make and leverage this. Once you decide that this is what is the size you need, go ahead and implement that. So also in CSS, the same thing, the 600 pixel can be implemented with using 599 pixel max width, and the whole application layout changes happens according to these. So design for 500 pixel and up, here is another scenario where app style is fixed aspect ratio, which are basically games. So over here, you would want the whole of the game to shrink and grow according to a fixed aspect ratio to give a good user experience. Because if you hide it from any of the sides, it won't give the same impact as it would if it was on a full screen. So this is what you can do. You can actually shrink it. Screen or the layout changes from 500 pixel to bigger, 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 and smaller. Now, adapt to, this is a different scenario which says about adaptation to the vertical space. Here's what you can do. If you have something like this, where you have to where you're trying to adapt to the vertical space, you can change a little bit depending on the content, how you're making user view your application. What you can do is, if your app probably you can use a grid view or a list view which controls the reflow, which controls the these controls help in reflow of the content very easily. Like if there's a list view, or the application is like a news application or a feed application, or you're giving weather and it is listed down one after another. So, and if your application in the vertical space, you can add data on at below of it. So or what you can do, another thing that you can do over here is make the content larger or smaller according to how the content is to be viewed. Whether it's in, or is it in the image format, whatever format your content is in, you can resize them a little, make it larger or smaller. You can use additional content, or you can use list view or grid view for the proper content reflow. These are some of the tips that you can use if you're adapting your application for a vertical space. Like over here on the screen, let's wait for it. Yes, now that the screen is visible. So over here on the screen there's a travel app, and as you can see, the one which is on the background, there are 3 rows defined, and one on the foreground has got like 5 rows defined. This is what I meant when I said that you can have additional content or you can resize. And the point here is make the best of all the layouts which are available, whether it is horizontal or vertical spaces. And for that, do whatever needs to be done to give a very good user experience. whether it means having a row controller or grid view controller, or is it meaning that you have to append additional content on the screen, or it means to resize your images or the tiles. I hope it's making sense for you till now. So let's moving on. Let's talk about how you can design 500 pixel and up and optional support down to 320 pixel. Like I mentioned before, now to get your application certified for store, you do not need to implement the snap view, but you can, it's an optional choice. If you think that there's a relevant content that you would like to display, probably content like scores, content like feeds from Twitter, which will be easily readable from the 320 pixel, feeds like weather. All of these kind of applications can take advantage of 320 pixel, but it's an optional 320 pixel. Now for that, the valuable scenarios could be when you're using a list or the inbox. Yeah, I forgot to mention inbox. So if you have mail sort of an application, or the feed or the status sort of an applications, or listing sort of an application, this is what you can do, implement the optional 320 pixel. But you have to make sure that if you are using the 320 pixel and taking advantage of this layout, make sure that the functionality, the core functionality of your application remains. It shouldn't be that you're trying to leverage another layout of Windows 8, 8.1, and sort of compromising on the functionality, or sort of compromising on the presentation or the quality of information that you're trying to display or convey to the user through your application. So as long as you are clear with what are the core scenarios of your applications which needs to be implemented in the 320 pixel optional layout, and that you're not compromising with the kind of experience and the kind of content that you're giving to the user, you're more than welcome to support down to 320 pixel. Now, since you're giving optional support down to 320 pixel, all you've got to do is override the default minimum width which is there in the app manifest folder of your Visual Studio project. So go down to, let's say you've decided that you want to give the 320 pixel support, the optional 320 pixel support to your application. What you got to do is go to your Visual Studio project and the app manifest. Over there is an option of what is your default, what is your minimum width. You can start with selecting 320 pixel over there. Then you can do the, you can take advantage of the Windows 8 Snap View if you already have a Windows 8 application. You can change it a little bit according to what you want to show, and then go ahead with implementing 320 pixel. Now, as there was a try unsnap, which was there on Windows 8, there's no programmatic unsnap in Windows 8.1. So you have to make a clear decision what you want to do with a 320 pixel or the narrow size of the Windows screen layout. So if you have a Windows 8 application which is running on Windows 8.1, it will run nicely. It will be running in the compact mode. So any application can be any size from 320 pixel to up to 500 pixel, anything more up than 320 pixel. And the app is fixed with 320 pixel, will be running in a pillar boxing. So like on the right hand side, you can see a Twitter application which is actually taking a 320 pixel space. But can you see the black area around the application? That's called pillar boxing. We do that so that we can run the Windows 8 applications which are not yet targeting Windows 8, which is yet not targeting Windows 8.1, but are still available. They'll run, but they'll run in a pillar boxing. Now, when this same application, Windows 8 application, which is running on Windows 8.1, but which is yet not targeted Windows 8.1, when you want to target it to 8.1, you will have to do some work. You will have to you'll have to make some changes in the code, and at this point of time, no pillar boxing of the applications will be there. The whole application will fill the whole area will be filled by the application. Does this make sense? So if you have 8 applications running on 8.1 which is yet not targeted 8.1, pillar boxing will be used to run those applications. And for application, once the target 8.1, no pillar boxing will be there, and the whole application will fill the window. Again, in Windows 8 8.1, visual states are used and primary layouts are mentioned, primary layouts and narrow layouts. And what you use is application view.value and application view state.snap. People who are already developed Windows 8 applications, they must be aware of all of this. But in Windows 8.1, what you do is, again, use a property called e.size.width, and according to this size, you have to define whether you are going to go for narrow layout or primary layout. So the thing remains same, but in Windows 8, like on the screen right now, you use application view state, and Windows 8.1, like on the screen right now, you use e.size.width, and anything which is less than 500 uses narrow layout, or if not, then use the primary layout. Same thing, if it is a CSS code, in Windows 8, what you used was a view state, whether it was snapped or not, or fill or what. And in Windows 8.1, what you use is the width, 499 pixel above or 499 pixel below. So this was the part of, so this is what I meant. Now moving on, let's see. Designed for 500 pixel and up, optional support down to 320 pixel, craft control for any sizes. So let's say you have controls for your application and you're resizing your application. So the application framework automatically compresses all of these app bar or the navigation button, removes the text from below it, and reduces the sizes. So it's important not just to implement the layouts, different layouts, but also to cater to the neatness of your design, to the neatness of the whole of your applications, and resizing of control forms a major part of it, because that's what needs major work. So on the screen you can see the above layer. It's on a larger screen, which is 1366 pixel, and below it is on a smaller layout, which is the 500 pixel, and you can see the difference in the control, right? Over at the top, these are bigger. The sizes are bigger. There are fonts available or the text available below the buttons, but on the smaller one, they are not. So you have to decide what you want to resize and what not. Let's take an example right now. On the screen right now, can you see the alarm application? This is the view of the alarm application. It's a fantastic application, very, very nice. So on the top left, you can see alarm, timer, and stopwatch. Right on the top left, there's alarm, timer, and stopwatch. These are basically the three navigations which are there on this application. So I've highlighted those three for you. So alarm, timer, and stopwatch. What if you're trying to resize this application now? So let's say this is what your application has become, and still you have to provide the three navigation: alarm, stopwatch, and timer. So here's what they have done. They have given a drop-down menu, and this is how they are redefining the control. Now again, when you have resized it to 320 pixel, what they have done is, from horizontal painting, they have gone into vertical painting. So this is what resizing of your application or resizing of your control means. Craft your control nicely and make the best of these multitasking model. So here's another example on the screen. This is the search example for the Bing search, which is improved a lot. And if you've not yet searched anything in Bing, please go ahead and do that and be impressed by it, because it's beautiful. So on the screen right now, we have a Bing search result for Marilyn Monroe. And it's basically a lot of panels with essentially data or information given in the vertical form. Now when you resize it, what happens is, all of these panels go into a vertical scrolling or the vertical panel. So that's what it is. Now what about portraits? So like I mentioned before, in Windows 8, there were four layouts: the snap view, fill view, portraits, and full view. So when it comes to portraits, how are you going to define, or how are you going to decide that the device is in the portrait form, and how are you going to react to that? So how you can do that is use width and height properties, the size width and the size height property, to define whether you want to give the portrait layout or not. So if the width is less than the height, essentially that means that the application is in the, or the device is in the portrait form, and that's when you want to give the portrait layout. And same thing in CSS. At the you can use the orientation as the portrait and then go ahead and leverage that. So that's what we mean. Windows 8 applications at any size, any screens, to ensure that the physical, to ensure that you're giving a well-crafted, a great experience on any screens, regardless of the pixel density of the screen. And how you're going to do that? Here's an example. Operating system scales the application for you across the whole form factor. Right. Now how you can do that? Here's a thing on the screen right now, which is showing on the first row, there's a 100% 1366 768 pixel screen, and on the right hand side, on the first row right hand side, there is the same application running on 1920 and 1080 pixel. So at this point of time, you can see that the application has shrunken a little bit, and it has shrunken a little bit, and it's now become not so user friendly because the button and the text are smaller. The button is smaller, and since touch should cater to all kind of fingers, and when you're touching something, it should have enough area to be touched appropriately and react to it. This is not a very good user experience. However, if, like you can see on the bottom row, on the left hand side, the same application running on 1366 and 768 pixel, and the same application which is running on 1920 and 1080 pixel at 140%. Now the only difference between these two is the quality. The left hand side, the 1366 768, is not that clear and not a very high DPI, and on the right hand side it is much more clearer and much more nicer. So how you actually do that is that same thing. Many things are same in Windows 8.1. The scaling plateau remains 100%, 140%, and 180%. So all you have got to do is define assets for all of these three scaling plateaus, and then operating system will pick up the appropriate or the appropriate asset from your application and display it according to what is the resolution of the device. The Windows height is always 786 pixel or greater, so that shouldn't be a problem. So see, right now what you have got to do is to leverage all of these scaling plateaus, provide images for all of these scaling plateaus, 100%, 140%, and 180%. On the screen we have shown you suggested naming conventions that you can choose. So yes. Now, create apps in any sizes on any screen. Guys, we are going to end up with this now. So definitely do this. Design for 500 pixel width and up. Provide assets for all three scale factors in resource package, and test at key sizes in Visual Studio Windows Simulator. Or you can leverage App Labs for this. You can send them their code and have them test it across all the devices. Now you can consider doing this according to the kind of application that you have, the kind of content that you're showing. You can think about supporting down to 320 pixel wide and adapt layout at other sizes, portrait window size. Alright, leverage the power of multitasking and awesome new screens by delivering a beautiful app experience at any Windows size on any screen. Perfect. Process lifetime management. Guys, gear up, as this portion of